In 1983, my parents took my sister and me on a vacation to California. We did all the typical things that a kid from Colorado would hope to do: Disneyland, the beach, Knott's Berry Farm, and soaking up the amazing Southern California energy. It was in the winter before the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, so the whole place had an American patriotism that was embedded in the atmosphere. The America of my youth was an incredible place. It was a place to be proud of. I was probably too young to understand all the inertia that was already in the institutions that would leave us with the hollowed-out cornhusk America we have become, but I loved being an American. As I grew up and began my journey into adulthood, something started to change in how America related to the rest of the world. By 9/11, all of the micro-wars and coups d'etats that we had wrought upon far-off lands had come to our shores, and the buildings were the first toppling of the empire. Those actions around the world had been cancerous. While they were looked past during the era of communism because we were the lesser of two evils, when the spotlight moved to us, our wrinkles and darkness began to be exposed. What the world saw, they did not like. Arriving at the doorstep of COVID, so much of what we had become as a country was tragic. A once beautiful and principally centered place was a bare thread version of its former self. We were trillions in debt. Our taxes, which are disproportionately brutal to the middle class, only funded the basic commitments and payments to our people like Social Security and Medicare. Every other dollar that we spent on wars and programs were borrowed dollars. Our soul had been sold upriver to bankers, foreign interests, and a corporate military complex that further penalized the people with forever wars and brutal inflation in every devaluation of the dollar. There was an air of distrust around government and the surrounding institutions, but most people wanted desperately to believe that with the right leader, the crookedness of Washington could be sorted out. The country elected a puncher, a proverbial wrecking ball to come drain the swamp. His efforts seemed like a heavyweight fighter, late in the rounds, behind on the scorecard, hoping for one knockout punch that would change the direction of America and get her back on the right course. But no matter what punch he threw, there was always a counterpunch. Hoaxes and accusations and playing into the character flaws that were evident became the order of the elite. They knew they wouldn't lose, but they also didn't want to take any chances. As the virus made its way through the media amplifier and the fear of death in a godless culture became the only thing of concern, everything that for so long had been in the shadows made its way into the open, and the last semblance of the America of my youth was gone. Every institution that I had trusted was now openly participating in the powerful destruction of our society. The media became the mouthpiece of government, even to the point that alphabet agencies had offices in main social media channels, telling people what was and wasn't approved speech. No matter what avenue you tried to escape to find out accurate information about what was happening, it all funneled back into a singular narrative that said that the government's information was the only accurate one. They were there to keep you safe, and anyone who spoke out about it was banished to the sidelines and made into a sinister mini-devil who should not be listened to or trusted. No information was allowed outside of what the government was willing to say themselves. That insistence on control was not fundamentally about keeping us safe, it was about making sure that what had actually happened wasn't disclosed. If people knew the truth, that a $2 drug might have been more helpful to those that contracted the illness, there would be no way for the drug companies to make their billions of dollars. Instance after instance exposed the dark truth that nothing that makes a society could be trusted. Our medical system is an industry, designed for maximum profit to the hospitals and the drug companies. The media was paid by the drug companies in advertisement dollars to make sure that the narrative was controlled. The actors and entertainers were paraded out as trusted figures who were going along with the science. Our science was corrupted. No data that came from the experts was really free of bias. It was all designed to support the government path. Once the wheels come off of trust, nothing from that moment forward is the same. Dishonesty is an isolation tool that pushes people away from community and into divided silos. Distrust of the institutions that make something function is tragic. It means that the boat has gone over the waterfall, and the recovery is long, painful, and sad. The only way through it now is to tell the truth. We need the truth about our money, the debt, the medical system, the military, the CIA, and all the other alphabet agencies that leech the lifeblood from our republic. We need to know that our food has been industrialized. We need to know if what they spray through the air is having an impact on our health and our body. We need to know if cellular and Wi-Fi technology are as safe as everyone claims they are. Are the toxins from our energy as safe as the agencies that regulate them say? We need to know why our speech is stifled and why our churches were closed and why public assembly was evaporated for emergency means. We have to understand why forever wars are always pushed as our duty and responsibility. We have to know if our government has murdered leaders around the world and at home. We have to hear the truth about all the things we question. Everything in this current America has to be surrounded in healthy skepticism in order to get back to a state of building trust with our institutions. That will take a truth teller, someone who is willing to say out loud that these things are wrong and damaging to our people. There has to be someone willing to break apart the captured agencies and industries so that we can restore a liberty-minded people. The more free that people are, the less divided they will be, and the healthier our country can become. Trust takes time, but it also takes a relentless dedication to the truth.